Those are some of the features of SharePoint right there. I mentioned to you before, excuse me, I mentioned to you before some of the free application templates that you can get with SharePoint. And they kind of break them up a little bit by category. I just sort of went through the list and highlighted some that I thought might be of general interest to general businesses. Distributed invoice management. There's document library review. There's an employee activities site. Application. Employee self-service for benefits. Employee training and scheduling materials. New store opening. Product and marketing requirements planning. A team work site. There's inventory tracking. Physical asset tracking and management. Project tracking workspace. Sales lead pipeline. Those are just some of the templates that are already pre-configured to work with SharePoint services. Now I've downloaded and installed some of these templates myself, and I got to tell you, they're very, very slick. And you know, the question comes, well, do I need to get fine, all this stuff is free, but do I need to hire a real expensive consultant to set it up for me? And I'm going to give you the most vague answer I can. You're going to get so far on the out-of-the-box install. It's not complicated for most technicians to install the Microsoft application template. It's not that rough of a deal to do that. Where you're probably going to need a consultant is if you're going to have complicated workflows, or you're going to need to do a lot of more deep integration of Microsoft Office into the product. And then, yeah, you probably are going to need a SharePoint consultant. But you can get so far for free or for very little money with the basic out-of-the-box SharePoint package, and maybe combine that with one of Microsoft templates. It's going to be probably a huge improvement on the way all that paperwork in your office is being handled right now, and that makes it just, I think, a real incredible value. Microsoft, and of course we're Microsoft Shop here. You wouldn't tell that with the Macintosh in the background, but we are. It has a list of what they call their top 10 benefits, kind of like Letterman's top 10, only probably ain't going to be nearly as funny. But, okay, here we go. Number 10, provide a cost-effective foundation for building web applications. You can't be more cost-effective as far as the price of SharePoint services, which if you own a Microsoft Windows Server, you can get this thing, no charge. But it is not terribly difficult to develop applications to run on SharePoint, and because it's very well documented on how it works, and you can use Visual Studio, and there's a SharePoint Designer product for it. Most of your basic things you may want done are going to be fairly simple to do, and simple means fairly quick to implement and relatively inexpensive to do. So, okay, that's probably a pretty good. Okay, next. Number 9, easily scale your collaboration solutions to meet business needs. So it goes on to say that you can really quickly configure SharePoint using a web browser, which that's how you do it. There are some command line utilities as well. And you can manage server farms and all that sort of thing using .NET. More of a techie, I think, kind of top 10 reason. Okay, number 8, take file sharing to a whole new level with robust storage capabilities. To me, that's probably what SharePoint is, at the end of the day, is really all about, is, you know, sharing information, sharing documents. I mean, that's why they went to such great lengths with versioning control, checking documents in, checking them out, synchronizing documents. Yeah, that's probably going to be light years away from, hey George, can you copy that file to the shared drive and I'll go get it and we'll burn it to a CD and take it over to. Yeah, it's got to be light years ahead of how a lot of small businesses are handling their documents. I know I've been in a lot of different small businesses, and I've seen people spend hours hunting down files somewhere, and maybe they didn't get the results they wanted. Number 7, provide sophisticated controls for securing company resources. Well, what I think what they're really talking about is that you're going to take information, maybe printed information or what have you. You're going to put it into a secure database, because the back end of this is Microsoft SQL Server, the Express version, although you can rehost it to the full-blown SQL. You're doing that, and then you're putting people into groups and into teams, and then you're saying this is what you can look at and what you can't. Whereas that process can be really, really, really difficult if you're not using such a system. It's probably impossible, really.